Ho ho, hopefully you managed to print out the IA Christmas card so that it looks a bit like this. If not, pause the video and have another go. Or even just draw your own using these 4 squares as a guide. To get the most from this video, you need a card that looks like this. Now get ready for some fun. We're going to tear the card to form 4 little cards, one each for my IA principles. Now, this isn't necessarily fun, but it is necessary. At the start of most UX projects, you need to explore what you're working with. Sometimes you have to rip stuff up, break things apart so that you can understand the individual parts as well as the larger system and opportunity. So tear the page to make 4 individual pieces, one for each of my IA principles. We're going to shuffle these up, learn more about them, and hopefully find one that you should focus on for the next 12 months. Hopefully you've got the 4 individual cards now, and we're going to start by turning them upside down. Sometimes we hide the value and processes of information architecture. The language of IA is sometimes a bit technical, and we deal with more abstract end of the design process. Let's start mixing these up. It's usually best to work through the principles in order. Get an expert, consider ontology, link through taxonomy and consider the utility and interaction of the parts. But if you're not familiar with the language or practice of IA, it can feel like you're working in the dark. Whether you're an IA or you work with one, when you start a project, think about whether you're making the process, language and expectations clear at the beginning. Or have you hidden that knowledge? Because if you do, you end up with a confusing mess. You're not sure where in the process you are, or even if you're doing things in the right order. You don't want your projects to begin like this. So let's do some IA. Tidy up the cards and hold them in your hands a bit like this. You'll be in the perfect position to tear them in half, so do that. Now you can either put the right hand packet on top of the left or the left hand packet on top of the right. You decide. That's IA. You've broken the pieces of a system into smaller parts and you're arranging them. We'll explore different arrangements as we learn more about IA. Now every project brings its own challenges. So to make sure we're not all starting in the same position, move a random group of cards from the top to the bottom. Do it again. Every project will challenge us in different ways, but they all contain information architecture. Every design contains information, stuff waiting to be arranged to be meaningful and useful to your audience. Considering ontology, taxonomy, and utility in every project will help to make sure that we contribute to more intentional information architecture. So to represent those 3 types of thinking, take the top 3 pieces and bury them in the middle. They'll be a part of every single project we work on. They're part of every single design. But IA is a specialism. You can either learn more about it or you can find and work with an expert. So to represent a commitment to engaging more consciously with IA, take the piece that's now on top and without looking at it, put it somewhere safe. This might be the basis of your IA promise. Being intentional in the way you use IA thinking is your first step to better IA. The alternative is leaving things to chance, which is confusing. I'll show you. Take the top bit and put it in the middle. Sometimes teams find it hard to know when or how to engage with IA. Do it again with 2 pieces this time. Is IA only needed at the start of a project? Or is IA just for drawing a sitemap at the end of a project? Take one piece again and put it in the middle, or don't. It's up to you. If this is the way that you approach IA, then you need to think again. IA is a strategic discipline, and you should think strategically about how, when and where you use it. Now, good IA creates systems with more coherence and consistency. It also delivers value by identifying opportunities for efficiency and resilience. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Complexity comes with costs. We've broken up the pieces we have to play with using tearing and ontology. We've rearranged those parts and begun exploring the relationships. But just because you can describe or represent a relationship doesn't mean you always should. Take the top piece or the top two or the top three and either bury them in the middle or throw them away. A skilled IA will know, understand and be able to explain the right level of detail for an information architecture or taxonomy. They'll be able to say how many pieces you need to find that balance between efficiency and resilience. Now this takes time. Let's imagine a week working as an IA, moving one piece from the top to the bottom for each day of that week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually, after a week, or really just any dedicated time thinking about IA, you have a clearer picture of the parts you need. Take the top piece and move it to the bottom. That might be useful. It might be part of the model that adds value. But there are always parts you can throw away. Take the new top piece and throw that away. There are always parts in a system that add complexity. There are parts that are needed or don't need to be communicated. Information architecture is the intentional arrangement of things and their parts to make meaningful systems for people to use. IAs identify, name and connect elements. Move the top piece to the bottom. They simplify the complex. Throw the next piece away. And keep repeating that process until you have one piece left. We've probably all got different numbers of cards now, but trust the process. Information architecture underpins every designed experience. It might seem like I've wasted 6 minutes of your life and made a mess for you to clean up, but you're now holding one piece of paper out of a whole pile. Imagine if this process was random. Imagine if the information architecture of this experience was unintentional, if the IA hadn't been considered. That piece in your hand would be meaningless. But if you followed the instructions, that piece should form half of a personalised promise you've just made to learn more about information architecture. You might not have the same one as me, but whichever IA-related principle you got, hopefully it will be the beginning of you making more intentional IA in the future. Nothing is random. Everything has meaning. Make sure you design it.